Tell us about the season, first of all. How has it been going for you and where you are in terms of where you want to be getting ready or preparing for World Championships?
Well, coming back from the injury, back that I had in 2012, I ruptured my patella. So I've been out the game for about 2.5 years, in terms of triple jumping. And, this last year was my first year coming back. I did a few long jump meets. And, I felt okay. This year I finally decided to test the triple jump out. And, I did a short approach jump a couple of weeks ago in Auburn, Alabama. And I felt great, jumped 52 feet 4 inches, which is good coming back from the injury. My focus, I want to go to the World Champs, but if I don't, my main focus probably might be Pan Am Games, and then go from there. So, but my main focus, and goal is really next year, the Olympics next year. But right now I'm feeling great, I just want to get a couple of meets under my belt and go from there.
You mentioned you were out for 2.5 years roughly. How difficult was it for you to sit at home trying to get better to come back on the track?
Well, it was very difficult. It was disappointing because I know I'm a competitor and I love representing the Caribbean and representing my country, the Bahamas. And I've been doing it for so long. I've been to every World Championship since 2003. Commonwealth Games since 2002. So it was very difficult for me. I had to sit back and watch my country compete without me. And I'm used to going out there fighting for the medal. And it was very difficult. I could have given up. But it's something in me that wouldn't allow me to give up. And I'm just glad that I stuck through it, and I was consistent and I was motivated. I had to be self-motivated because it was tough. Having to deal with people talk about your age and having to deal with people saying that I can't make a comeback from the injury. It was very difficult, but I stuck with it, and I decided to I'm not going to let anybody stop my goals or my dreams, and I'm back. I'm back here, and I'm back ready to compete.
What's your real goal in track and field, and and what really led you to decide that you're not going to give up?
Well, first of all, when I went down in the pit, in London, from right then I already said this is not the end. I was always self-motivated. I know everybody saw me compete in the triple jump, and always willing to fight for that medal for the Caribbean. And it's just something in me wouldn't allow me to give up. I have kids, and I couldn't let them see me go out like that. I decided, because if they have something that happens to them in the future, maybe they may not give up because they saw me not giving up. So I do it to inspire the younger generation from the Bahamas or the Caribbean or wherever you at. That's the reason why I come back. Some people give up when they have a little hamstring injury, and so see me coming back from something like this should motivate a lot of people and inspire a lot of people.
This year you mentioned, which is a World Championship year, is not really the aim. 2016 is the Olympic year. 2017 is another World Championship. Do you target those two, 2016 and 2017, and say to yourself, if it don't work for me the way I want it, that's going to be it?
Yeah, pretty much, I think that's what it's going to be. Like I said, I didn't really want to focus on this year because there's a lot of pressure coming off from the injury, but if it happens, it happens. I'm not putting pressure on myself, but my main focus is mainly next year. Next year and maybe the Worlds, depending on how things go. I'll probably do the Worlds afterwards. But if it don't happen, if I don't make the finals or I don't win a medal, I'm not going to be upset. I'm still satisfied to seeing that, I did it. I made a comeback. I jumped. I did something that some people didn't think I could have been done, and I did it. I'm still going to be proud of myself, and my family still is going to be proud of me. Even now, they are proud of me. So, the sky's the limit, and I'm just going to do with all I can to be the best in the world again, and that's just it.